Nana is one of the greatest, most relatable, and emotionally engaging anime I've ever had the pleasure of viewing. Aside from a crappy finale, every episode is well written and thematically intriguing. I can't say it's too enjoyable because a lot of it is depressing, but I'm still glad I watched it. In this video I plan on analyzing the two most prominent themes in the crux of Nana's story and explain why they're so important. This is an amazing anime which deserves more recognition than it gets. Before I get started, I wanted to give a shout out to a video made by Under the Scope Reviews, which I'll link in the description box down below. It was made earlier this year after I requested it from him, and I highly recommend it. I'm going to discuss 2 points that he didn't in his video, the concepts of parenting and Stockholm Syndrome, which seem to be prevalent in the story. Stockholm Syndrome is a theme rarely discussed well in stories, especially anime, but it's masterfully handled here. The technical definition of Stockholm Syndrome is a condition that causes hostages to develop a psychological alliance and even dependence with their captors as a survival strategy during captivity. These feelings, resulting from a bond formed between captors and captives during intimate time spent together, are generally considered irrational in light of the danger or risk endured by the victims. Generally speaking, Stockholm Syndrome consists of strong emotional ties that develop between two persons where the one person is brutally harasses, beats, threatens, abuses, or intimidates the other. In Nana, the main heroine wasn't technically a captive, but every other qualification fits perfectly. Nana Komatsu, also known as Hachi, is a recent college graduate who moves to Tokyo in hopes of finding a job. During the series, she's had a slew of several boyfriends, and none of which worked out. At the start, she just broke up from Takashi Asano, a man from Tokyo who cheated on his wife with Nana. Shortly after they broke up, she met Shouji Endo, who cheated on her with a girl named Sachiko Kawamura. After that, she got together with Nobuo Terashima, the lead guitarist of the punk rock band Black Stones, and the same band that her new good friend Nana Osaki is part of. This is the only one of Nana's romances that I felt was truly full of love, and I wanted them to end up together, but sadly it concluded tragically. Then she got together with Takumi Ichinose, the worst character in the series. Let me rephrase that. He's a good character writing-wise, but I don't think anyone would say he's a likable character. Nana possesses all the symptoms of Stockholm Syndrome. She has a psychological dependence on Takumi, in spite of the horrible physical and mental abuse he puts her through. He truly manages to convince her that she won't be able to survive without him. This is proven with the fact that he's able to constantly beat, insult, and even rape her, and she just lets it happen. It isn't a case of him overpowering her, she just doesn't even attempt to fight him. The scene that almost brought me to tears was when Takumi forced her down and had sex with her without her permission. It's clear that she doesn't want it, but makes no effort to stop him. What made the scene worse was that Nana Osaki was in the other room just listening to it, being powerless to do anything. She wasn't sure if Nana would have been happy if she stepped in or told anyone, so she just sat in the other room in abject horror, tears running down her face as her best friend was raped. I don't usually get emotional, but this scene was heartbreaking. Just thinking about it makes me sad. Plus, correct me if I'm wrong, but if I'm not mistaken, when it comes to stuff like Stockholm Syndrome, I believe that the victim actually has to, admit that there's something wrong in order for authorities to do anything about it anyways. At least in the United States. I'm not sure if that's true in Japan or not. The other theme in the story is the concept of parenting, which solely revolves around Nobuo Terashima. First, I want to say Nobuo is the most genuinely likable character in the series. His biggest flaw comes from his lack of willingness to sacrifice his dreams for the sake of his child. Any good parent will tell you that part of the job is sacrifice, doing whatever it takes to make sure your child, and significant other for that matter, is happy, even if it means letting go of their own hopes and aspirations. In this case, that would be the possibility of becoming a professional musician, which already isn't even certain. The mature thing to do would have been to give up on that, or at least put it on the back seat, and take over his family's business, which they desperately wanted him to do anyways. Because he couldn't do this, that means that he was a bit too immature to be a parent. I wouldn't say he's entirely immature, because he was able to recognize this flaw and use this self-awareness to let Nana go to be with Takumi, who was a professional musician and would easily be able to support both a wife and a child. Granted, he probably would have been more resistant if he knew in detail the horrible abuse that Takumi put her under. That, and the fact that we don't know if Nana's child is Takumi's or Nobuo's, is what made this decision kind of tragic. This is one of the most emotionally engaging anime I've ever watched, and another large reason for that is the music. This is one of the few anime that I decided to buy the soundtrack for because it's just so damn good. The album includes the full version of every opening and ending, as well as all the insert songs of the show. I highly recommend it. It's an hour of pure enjoyment. It's actually the most purely enjoyable part of Nana. And that does it for me. In the comment section below, let me know what you think about Nana if you've seen it, as well as my own opinion on it. It's a show that deserves more attention than it gets, which is why I made this video. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe to my channel for more content in the future, share it around if there's others you think might like it, and follow me on Twitter if you feel the need. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.